Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We have a great deal to talk about. To my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. The super chat is really important for this channel and for this live streams. And just thank you. Thank you for your support. Ladies and gentlemen, there's this apathy that I want to talk about really quickly. People are they just kind of in disbelief that anything's going to happen. Oh my goodness, nothing's ever going to take place. Nothing's ever going to happen in terms of justice. Well, just look. Thank you, Luke St. Martin, Eric H526. Thank you. Look at what's taken place thus far. We had 2 years of an investigation into nothing, a fabricated investigation with quote unquote evidence, purchased by Hillary Clinton, the Steele dossier, and CrowdStrike. And tomorrow, by the way, I'm going to be published in a really wonderful publication that I'm very, very proud of. And this is regarding the Green New Deal, AOC's Green New Deal. And when I'm talking about, when I'm spending so much time during my live streams and during my uploads on the cobalt and the lithium, the communities that are adversely affected by the mining of cobalt and lithium in the Congo, in Chile, in Bolivia, in Argentina, in China. AOC's Green New Deal would decimate the indigenous communities that she claims to respect. So that's just, right now, something around 5% of Americans drive electric vehicles. If you want, Democrats want 95%. I explain what that would mean to the people of the Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, people and communities in Latin America, in China. Mining lithium and mining cobalt is extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous, pollutes the environment beyond belief, pollutes water beyond belief. And it's just a horrendous process to mine cobalt and lithium. The environmental impact is not only counterproductive, it defeats the purpose of a Green New Deal. Actually implementing a Green New Deal would be a disaster for indigenous communities that AOC claims to want to protect. Anyway, check that out. That's going to be tomorrow. But, ladies and gentlemen, don't lose sight of reality. Now, I know that people people are kind of burned out. I get it. I understand. People are like, oh no, not again. Clinton's getting indicted, right? I have one wonderful, really wonderful person who actually doesn't agree with me ever, but he always watches this channel. And he's been watching for years. He doesn't ever agree with me, but I appreciate the fact that he's extremely respectful when he disagrees. And he said, when are you going to just stop talking about Clinton indictments? When she goes back in time and ensures that she didn't commit the crimes that she committed. Then I will not talk about Clinton getting indicted. She committed crimes. And with the help of Peter Strzok, and we'll get to him in a second. Okay, so she committed crimes. When you've committed crimes, what do you expect? Seriously, what do you expect? What happens when you commit crimes? What happens? Well, you get indicted eventually. And so I understand, I get it. It's kind of like people are like, oh no, not again. But there's some issues where they don't have, there isn't a statute of limitations. For example, the Espionage Act, if she continues to use, or the Clinton Foundation continues to exist, which is tied to the private server that she used, which transferred top secret she transferred top secret intelligence onto. So there are a bunch of different crimes I mean, the campaign finance issues are still ongoing. There's a great article in the Federalist, a fantastic publication, a really, really wonderful publication. FEC still refuses to investigate alleged $84 million Clinton campaign money laundering. I wrote an article in the Daily Caller. Hillary Clinton should be indicted on campaign finance violations. So, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read you. This is an exchange from Lindsey Graham. This is an exchange from Lindsey Graham to actually, I'm going to play this exchange, by the way. So Lindsey Graham, William Barr, Strzok. Okay, so he was shocked. So William Barr was shocked when he heard that Peter Strzok had stated, or when he read that Peter Strzok had stated, here it is. I was shocked about the text messages. So you're going to hear this in a second, okay? You're going to hear this in a second. All right. All right, so here it is. Let's just get this up. Okay, we're almost there. All right.
Against President Trump. This investigation was opened up by somebody at the FBI / Department of Justice against President Trump.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think there are a number of investigations, as I understand it, going on in the department.
Have you ever heard of such a thing in all the time you've been associated with the Department of Justice?
I have never heard of that.
Are there rules about how you can do counterintelligence investigations?
I believe there are, Mr. Chairman.
So if you want to open up one against the president, are there any checks and balances?
Not outside the FBI.
Okay, well, we need to look at that.
Not outside, really quickly, not outside the FBI. Are you kidding me? You can investigate the president, a candidate, anyone. If you're an FBI official, top FBI official, you can, or a director, you can just investigate anyone without any checks and balances. That's literally what William Barr just said right now. There are no checks and balances. So they went after Trump, the candidate Trump, and all people can think about, look, there are people, the majority of people who think that Trump is a monster, thought he was a monster before he won the election. There are very few people who looked at Trump Russia, like independents or Trump voters or people who just didn't vote for the Democratic Party. There are very few people who said, you know what, this Trump Russia thing's, oh man, he worked with Russia. Very few people believe that he actually worked with Russia. He didn't. It's ridiculous. The Senate, after 2 years, found nothing. President Trump has been completely exonerated. This whole thing has been fabricated nonsense. Everyone is saying what I've been saying, that it's complete nonsense. I've been saying this forever. But there are no checks and balances. That has to change. That will change. Do you think William Barr wrote an unsolicited memo to President Trump for his health? He wrote an unsolicited memo, and he was interviewed by the New York Times, and he didn't he wasn't quoted like in a like the reporter quoted him. No, it was an email interview, which is what you should always do. If somebody wants to interview you, yeah, just send the questions via email, and I'll email you back. When people have tried to interview me, and I've said, like, you know what? If you're really interested, go ahead and send email questions. They don't contact me again, because I know it's a hit piece. So, but William Barr has already stated there's more to investigate with the uranium deal than anything Trump has done, which he didn't do anything. But check this out. So let's continue.
In terms of people who are actually enforcing the law, don't we want to make sure they don't have an agenda?
That's right, Mr. Chairman.
Do you know a Lisa Page or Peter Strzok?
I've heard their names.
So do you know them personally?
No, I don't.
This is a message, August 8th, 2016, a text message. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right. Strzok responded, no, he's not. We'll stop him. Strzok was in charge of the Clinton email investigation. This Page worked at the Department of Justice.
You have, I mean, we are living in like a nightmare fantasy world. You literally found text messages. We literally found text messages of people who stated, we will stop Trump. And they're the FBI agents, the top FBI agents, the guy who's running the whole thing. And it's not enough for people in the media. It's not enough. Do you understand? It's not enough. There's nothing to insinuate. There's no evidence. Vox has said, other people, there's no evidence leading to the conclusion that anything he did was bias. Are you kidding me? Everything Strzok did was bias. Everything from exonerating Clinton to going after Trump based on a Steele dossier, to not telling the FISA judge that Clinton purchased a Steele dossier, to everything. Gee, man, I agree with you. To everything that took place was not only bias. Peter Strzok, with every fiber of his being, could not stand Trump. If they could launch President Trump, heaven forbid, like through a Space Force rocket into the atmosphere, into the cosmos, they would do it. It's not just bias. They had unadulterated, pure hatred of Trump. They did everything they could. Thank you, Eric H. They did everything they could. They did every single thing they could to stop and to hurt Trump. So it's kind of like, it's almost absurd, but it is absurd, but it's like people still believe that Trump worked with Russia. It's the most nonsensical, irrational, absurd conspiracy. You want to talk about theories that are debunked? He didn't work with Russia. Not one person was influenced, even if he did, which he didn't. How many people were influenced by Facebook ads? Nobody. How many people were influenced by Twitter bots? Are you kidding me? Twitter is like a bastion of liberal politics. The only reason the Democratic Party has so much influence aside from Hollywood is Twitter. You take Twitter away, you pretty much have leveled the Democratic Party. Democrats live on Twitter. They live on Twitter to bully, to pontificate, to preach. That's what they do. That's the only thing they do. The only thing they do is they just live off Twitter. I mean, people get suspended. That's why I left Twitter. I got suspended because some guy wrote his 30th hit piece on me on this little blog. And I told him off, and I got suspended. Are you kidding? I've had people threaten me. I went to the LAPD and actually got a police report. I sent the tweets, the direct messages from this account, and it was enough to get a police report. And you can't just get a police report just, by accident. Like, you have to prove that this was a legitimate issue. Like, this person was threatening you against the law. I got the police report and showed the police report to Twitter, and Twitter was like, oh, well, we'll look into it. And nothing happened. So it's like I spare me the sob story when people are like, oh my God, it's like, what more advantages do you need as a political movement, which is, by the way, eating its own, which is hilarious. But let's continue. Okay, Peter Strzok is going to get investigated. There's already articles. There was a law and crime article, and I'll read that to you in a second, about, William Barr promises Peter Strzok investigation. But let's continue. Let's continue.
Justice. August 15th, 2016. I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way he gets elected, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before 40.
We can't take that risk. It's an insurance policy. What more do you want? I mean, honestly, what more do you want? What literally, they just, how you like joke around, like, what are you supposed to say? What is Clinton supposed to say? Like, or what are we supposed to find? Like, Clinton, like, if you give money to the Clinton Foundation, we will then give you preferential treatment any way we can. Signed, Bill and Hillary. Have a wonderful New Year's. You're not going to get that card. You're going to get a constant flow of billions into the Clinton Foundation. And oh, by the way, UBS, Boeing, Uranium One, weapons deals from countries, 85 donors giving $156 million, 500 conflicts of interest. Bill Clinton, Inc. We know this from the emails during the election. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And that's not enough to connect any dots. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand. I get it. I get how people are tired, especially like with the whole Q nonsense, that it was a complete psyops. Complete. I trust the plan. Ooh. And like people are like, you know what? Nothing happened. Well, it's like nothing happened. And so it kind of like sapped the energy. It sapped the energy from, most people who were watching this and saying, hey, most people are watching this and saying, wait a second, when, like, we have serious criminal, like, with serious crimes committed. Why isn't the DOJ doing anything? Well, there was a Democrat at the DOJ. His name was Jeff Sessions. We now have William Barr. Tomorrow. William Barr gets confirmed officially. I believe the Senate vote is tomorrow, Thursday. In fact, it's on my, I have this New York Times article on my phone. Where's the article? New York Times. Where is this? Thursday. Mr. Barr's nomination and move to a final up or down vote likely on Thursday. It signals that he has enough support in the Republican-controlled chamber to prevail. So there you go. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. And let's just really continue this. Now listen to what he says, ladies and gentlemen. This is very important. This is extremely important. I get it. I understand. People are tired. Oh, ain't she again, Clinton? What, did she commit crimes? Yes. Well, then what makes you think that she won't be indicted? She's too powerful. Nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing ever happens. So when you buy a stock, I used to be a financial advisor for Morgan Stanley and a bunch of other companies. When you buy a stock, past performance is not an indicator of future performance. You can't say, hey, this mutual fund gave you 10% return for the past 6 years. You can't tell people. I'd love to speak with Lionel Nation. Yeah, anytime. Eric H. Yeah. You can't tell people, oh, well, you've made this much money in the past. You'll make this much money in the future. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You can't tell people that. That's illegal, actually. And so when people say, hey, she'll never get indicted, she's too powerful. Really? All of the people who Rickmore 209, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. All the people who are saying, oh, she'll never get indicted. It's like, just because she hasn't yet doesn't mean she didn't commit crimes. She did. And there's a new attorney general. All the people who covered for Clinton are no longer there. And the media is impotent. Look, nobody trusts the media. Even people on the left don't trust the media. And they won't, when things start to turn, they won't trust the media. Because the media is like the media is like the intelligence community. They're going to gravitate towards power. Once Trump and once the DOJ and once Clinton crimes are fully investigated and she and others eventually get indicted, because it will happen. It has to happen. Like, the future of the country is at stake. And this is not like, any kind of, like, you cannot transfer top secret intelligence outside of the United States government, which James Comey stated she did. He literally stated she did. You can't transfer top secret intelligence, special access program intelligence. Nobody knows how she did it. You can't have a functioning state. The state runs on prestige. The state runs on state power. The media helps with that. You cannot have a functioning state with somebody as corrupt as Clinton. That doesn't work that way. All of these people all these intelligence community chiefs and all the media, they're gravitating towards who they think is going to win in the long run. Once they realize, hey, you know what? I'm changing horses. Doesn't look too good for this side anymore. They're gonna slowly. You won't see them embrace Trump, but you'll see them say things like, well, Trump is bad, but you know what? Clinton did commit crimes. And mark my words on this. I have the pulse of what's going on, and I'm not right about everything, but I'm pretty much accurate on most things. And I'm telling you, just listen to what he says. Listen to what he says. This is William Barr. Okay, listen to what he says right now. Check it out. This is really important, ladies and gentlemen.
March 4th, 2016. Page is struck. God, Trump is a loathsome human being. October the 20th, 2016.
Can you imagine?
Trump is
Can you imagine what kind of person, like, if someone used profanity against me, do you think that I would be, like, too offended? Not really. Not really. I have been called every single name possible on Twitter. They've insulted me both left and at first right, but then, it was mainly left. I've been insulted, demeaned. They've tried to mock me. I didn't care at all, but, well, it affects you a tiny bit. But after a while, you don't care. But if someone said, H.A., you're a loathsome human being. A loathsome human being. Nobody's ever said that about me. And I've been insulted, like, pretty much every way possible. Peter Strzok called Trump a loathsome human being. How does that not? That's inherent. Inherent in the accusation is not only bias, it would prevent anyone from being completely neutral, which Democrats are never neutral. They cheated Bernie Sanders, but then again, you know what? Thank God Trump won. They cheated Bernie, blamed Russia. And then the chief investigator said Trump is a loathsome human being. A loathsome human being. That is the probably one of the worst things you could say about a person. You're a loathsome human being. Let's look at the definition of that. This is what Peter Strzok, the unbiased, the unbiased Strzok. Okay. I look, Mr. Chairman, I can tell you that I was never biased. If I could launch Trump into a spaceship on Space Force so he would never come back to the United States and just hover around the Milky Way, I would have done that. But I am not biased at all. And furthermore, I'm insulted. I am insulted that you would even accuse me of that after you've found me out from all my text messages with my lover. Loathsome. That's the way Peter Strzok speaks. Loathsome. Causing hatred or disgust. Repulsive. Not biased at all. Not biased. Not biased. What bias? What bias? No, not bias. Everything's fine. Mr. Chairman, when I said loathsome, I meant that in the most loving way, the most endearing way, kind of like a loathsome kitty cat, like a little loathsome, I don't know, puppy. Don't the words connect? Hateful, detestable, abhorrent, repulsive, odious, repugnant. Repellent, disgusting, revolting, sickening, nauseating. I've been called all of this, by the way. Just want to let you know. Abominable, despicable, contemptible, reprehensible. Wow, execrable? Huh. Extremely bad or unpleasant. So yeah, no bias at all. And this was, by the way, the chief investigator. This is the guy who literally framed Michael Flynn. I mean, James Brown has a great song, The Big Payback. I'd play it if it wasn't the copyright issues. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the big payback's coming, and it's not like super secret spy agents on MySpace. Like, MySpace came, and there's these like secret agents on MySpace, and they're telling you all these wonderful things are going to happen, and Gitmo, get ready for Gitmo to be filled up. Oh my God. You wouldn't even have tribunals, do you understand? So Peter Strzok is the low-hanging fruit. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen. It's not just me. Don't believe me. You don't have to believe me. I'm not asking you to believe. Don't believe me. 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 Okay? Okay? Okay?
An effing idiot is unable to provide a coherent answer. To all those who enforce the law, you can have any opinion of us that you like, but you're supposed to do your job without an agenda. Do you promise me as Attorney General, if you get this job, to look in to see what happened in 2016?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Do you promise me to look into what happened in 2016? Yes, Mr. Chairman. What do you expect William Barr to say? Q told me that the Gitmo's gonna open? Huh? The Q told me through 8chan, because I was watching, that the Gitmo's going to open, and yes, Clinton's going to get indicted tomorrow, and yes, all of this is going to happen, and we're going to get these treasonous traitors and patriots, and what do you expect them to say? There's Democrats there like frothing at the mouth. Patrick Leahy is like, if you say one thing, I'll make sure you never get become Attorney General. What do you expect him to say? What more can he say? Yes, Mr. Chairman, I promise I will look into 2016. Do you think Trump became Annabomb 31458? H. King James on here provides an interesting perspective from Canada. You should have him on sometime. Sometimes it's good to get that view. King James. King James on here provides an interesting. All right, I'll look into it. Adam Bomb 31458. Thank you. King James, one of the people. Yeah. Okay, I'll look into this. Yes. So, thank you, Adam Bomb 31458. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's like, what do you expect William Barr to say? I understand my channel and my voice is like full steam, like Clinton indictment. I'm like the last like holder of the flame. Clinton indictments. Like, those those people, you see them at like baseball games or like, events, like, fairs, and like the end is near. God will reap vengeance upon you. I'm like Clinton indictments. I have like, the megaphone. And then I'm reading like James Comey's exoneration statement. Okay. Adam Bomb 31458. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again. Indictments are near. Indictments are near. Check out my channel, my Second Amendment channel, MP5. Oh, by the way, yes, you definitely want to check my HA Second Amendment channel. It's fantastic. I have some awesome MP5 segment just upload. Oh, Lord. An MP5 segment that I just uploaded. Check that out. Michael Gonzalez, thank you. Yeah, no, that's me. Believe me, that's me. I am going to be, you will see me at like a major sporting event near you. Or you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be like, who's that guy that like flew into like Super Bowl III with the jetpack? That's me. It's like, who is that bald guy? What is that HA Goodman? Like, I'll be like the jetpack. I'll be like, and there'll be like this like banner behind me. Clinton indictments. Like that I'm telling you. It's the next Super Bowl. Okay? I'm telling you. I'm the last. I'm like the holder of the flame here. Me and Tom Fitton. Although Tom Fitton is actually the man. I will be published tomorrow in a tomorrow, the next day, in a fantastic publication about the Green New Deal. I'm very proud of that article, and I want you, please, everyone, to share it. Because when I talk about the cobalt mining and just the horrendous thing, people read, enough about the cobalt again. Again, the cobalt. I came for Clinton indictments. I got cobalt instead. It's important, though. Okay? It is important. Prondy! One of two. Are you concerned about the precedent of criminal prosecuting political opponents, Trump and Clinton, even if they did in fact break the law? Agree with you 100%, but the pattern worries me. Prondy, if Trump, I'll tell you, that's a very profound question, and I appreciate it. Look, I swear to you, and I don't usually say I swear to you, I swear, if Trump colluded with Russia, if I believe Trump colluded with Russia, I'd have 400,000 subs now. If I truly believed Trump colluded with Russia, I'd be making bank. And by the way, people like the Trump Russia people are still making a lot of money. They haven't skipped a beat. They're like the Q people, except they have the media and the intel community pumping it. So if I believe, Prawn D, that's a very profound question. If I did believe that there was evidence, I would jump on that and every day. But there wasn't any evidence. There was no evidence, and the evidence was to the contrary. So my point is, if Trump did commit crimes, I would want him to be indicted. Major crimes. Now, I'm not talking about an accident. If it's an accident or whatever, I wouldn't want Clinton to be indicted. but there was no accident with the private with the private server and everything. It's transferring top secret intel. It's so crooked. Prawn D, thank you so very much as always for watching. Thank you. Oklahoma taxpayers unite. We will. That's awesome. I couldn't have said it better myself. Oklahoma taxpayers unite. Thank you. By the way, you might enjoy my Second Amendment channel. Oklahoma taxpayers unite. No Sickle J. No Sickle J. You need to release 1 million. Exactly. You know what? Someone has to do that via helicopter, because if I'm jetpacking in, like with the jetpack, I don't know how. I don't know how I'm gonna hold the balloons, but maybe like a net full of balloons I could just drop. Trust me, knowing my luck, the balloons are gonna hit the jetpack and down I go. Ramla Farah, hello. No Sickle J, thank you. So Eric HA and Sticks jetpack. That'd be awesome. Sticks hair flowing in the wind as he jetpacks in. It'd be awesome. No Sickle J, thank you. But I'm telling you, like, I'm like the holder of the flame here. Clinton will eventually get indicted. And I've been saying this for about 2 years now, since 2016. So going on 3 years now. You can't. It's not about my ego or anything. You cannot have. Like I said, you can't have a functioning state. The state exists. If the state wasn't, like, you want to talk about, like, this is an overly used term, but the issue of the existential issue. You can't have a functioning state. You cannot have a functioning state that allows powerful people. You can't have a functioning state that allows powerful people to just get away with everything. So, and to transfer top secret intelligence. So that's very, very, very dangerous. And that's my point. By the way, if you want to see a grease gun, an M3 submachine gun, right here. So if you play video games, I have a series on HA's Second Amendment of different video game rifles and firearms and machine guns they use. So took a little trip to Vegas and experienced all the amazing firearms there. There's a bunch of cool places. So it was a one-day thing. It was awesome. But you got to check it out. I mean, HA Second Amendment, you got to check it out. 100 round mag dump with the M249. It's right here, ladies and gentlemen. 100 rounds. Check it out. Right here. M249. 100 rounds. Ronald, it was fun. It was fun. Let's listen to this again. Okay? Rider of a Pale Horse. That is going to be my next. What I want to do next. What I want to try to do next and film. Made in Tennessee Barrett 50 cal. Nice. Yeah. That is going to be what I would like to do next. Rider of a Pale Horse. Thank you. But I have Rider of a Pale Horse. I have 20. I've only uploaded 4 of 20 segments with, there's a BAR a Browning automatic rifle, an M4, AK-47, all fully auto. Thompson submachine gun. So there's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of, I'm right most of the time. Clinton losing. Most of the time. No collusion. I've been saying that forever. My goodness. But thank you for reminding me how right I am. All the time. All the time. It's kind of difficult to be right all the time. Almost all the time. But yeah, I mean, Rider of a Pale Horse, thank you. Thank you. Just like I said, just remember, and the naysayers, they're like, you're wrong always. Like, no, actually, I'm right most of the time. Clinton lost. She lost. She lost. And nobody was saying she was going to lose. I was in my writing, which drove people crazy. You're going to love. Did I say love? Love. Do you guys remember Spaceballs? Love. Love. You're going to absolutely love my article on AOC's the inspirational politician of our age. The Green New Deal. My views on the Green New Deal. You have to believe. Okay. Thank you. That will not motivate anybody, but thank you. It's in a great publication. Can't wait to show everybody. And it's going to be tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. And I'm very proud of it. Really very proud of it. And that'll be hopefully up tomorrow or the next day. But ladies and gentlemen, there's so much. Look, just listen to this once again, okay? Just listen to this once again. All right? If you don't believe me, I mean, just listen to it once again.
No way he gets elected. Trump is an effing.
I swear to God. I'm like, okay, that's a live stream. Don't want YouTube policies. Don't want to use. Please don't. I don't want to click play on where Strzok uses profanity. And of course,
To all those who enforce the law, you can have any opinion of us that you like, but you're supposed to do your job without an agenda.
Thank you, Cheyenne Sky. Thank you.
Promise me as Attorney General, if you get this job, to look in to see what happened in 2016.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
How do these statements sit with you?
I was shocked when I saw them.
Okay, please get to the bottom of it. I promise you we will.
I was shocked when I saw them. But what else do you expect me to say? There's a bunch of frothing at the mouth Democrats. So I'm just going to say yes, Mr. Chairman, and pretend that I'm not going to do it. When I get the nomination, I will do it, and I'll do it good. I'll do it real good. And you won't even believe how well I'm going to do it. And when Peter Strzok gets investigated, it's going to be done in a way that, well, we'll find everything out. Okay, I'm not going to get into it because there are Democrats here, but it'll be done and done good. John Smith. James Clapper in a CNN interview last year put the responsibility on Obama for starting the investigation. That's right. John Smith, you're 100% right. You are 100% right. That's exactly right. And you're right. He did. And like I said, like, you don't want to surround yourself with these types of people. You don't want to surround yourself with people who you don't want to surround yourself with people who will backstab you in a second. I mean, people like James Clapper, the moment that the moment that the you know what hits the fan, they're all going to turn. So, I mean, there's a reason. Look, the Senate the Senate found zero collusion because there was none, because it's ridiculous. The whole thing is like the most absurd thing. So, John Smith, thank you. And that's what, that's what happens when you have, look, you live by the intel community. At the end of the day, it's not going to work out for you because it's not a community. It's just people in power. You think there's a CEO community? No, there are people in power that their lives revolve around their corporations. I mean, do you really want to be? It was like one CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Like, I think it was one of the. I'm not going to say the guy's name, but he had a book out. But this was a while back, and he was, and this is literally one of the most powerful, richest people in the world. Maybe I think the top 10 largest companies in the world, and easily, yeah, probably top 5. And he stated he looked at his daughter on her wedding day as he was walking his daughter down the aisle, and he said, "I don't know who this woman is." Meaning, like, he spent every waking hour away from his family. So, like, do you want that much power? But that's what these people. That's who these people are. They're just power hungry people. That's what they live for. There's not a difference between Bernie Madoff and James Comey. There really isn't a difference. There's no difference. Bernie Madoff was caught, and his negative, horrible impact on people was felt immediately. With Comey, people don't realize what he did. To cover up an actual crime, like numerous crimes, simply, and we found out it was simply for the FBI. And that just recently, Fox News, The Hill talked about this. The FBI was asking for favors from whatchamacallit, from the Clinton campaign. That's why when they found emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop, they were actually during technically a second criminal probe. They were in talks with Clinton's lawyer. Can you believe that? They weren't in talks with Trump's lawyers. They didn't even tell Trump that not only were they in talks with Clinton's lawyer for the criminal activity she committed, but they didn't even tell Trump that people around him were allegedly committing crimes. So that's they become millionaires in office through graft. I mean, it's through networking. So if you are, let's say, I am Congressman H.A. Goodman, and I'm attending all the most, powerful Hollywood events, aerospace industry events, fundraising events with the wealthiest people on the planet. And people come to me and they're like, Congressman Goodman, Senator Goodman, this industry is a growing industry. And it employs 50, 60, 70,000 people or 1 million people or whatever, 300,000, 400,000 people in your state. What can we do? My son-in-law actually has a corporation that's in need of a marketing executive or I don't know, a middle manager, a vice president. Yeah, sure, your daughter, your son, or your cousin will hook him up. And then you just through that, we'll give you part of this venture. There's a million different ways. I'm not really explaining it. There's a million different ways. It's all about networking. GTO Mama, thank you. If you're the governor, if you're the you have the head of the CEOs of banks calling you. You have, I remember I had a college professor who stated that just a city councilman had he knew a city councilman who all the most powerful people in the city were contacting him. Hey, if you need anything, let me know. I mean, think about that. Think about that for a second. If you need anything, if your kid wants to get into an Ivy League, if your kid wants to get into a program in a certain college or, anything, I mean, this is all about the Clinton Foundation is a gigantic money laundering, but networking scheme. How did the Clintons years Prawn D, thank you, Prawn D, thank you. With the survival state, with the surface state on our side, you influence the process. Who would reduce their power and risk being investigated? We unknowingly break the law every day. They'll find something. Clinton indictment's vital, but a worrying pattern. Surveillance state on your side. Yep, you influence the process. Yep. Who would reduce their power and risk being investigated? That's true. Oh, look, you're 100% right about this. I've already thought about this. Prawn D, you're 100% right. Look, Trump is the good guy now. He could be the bad guy in a year. That's scary. And I like Trump, and I'm voting for him. But Prawn D is, you're philosophical, and you have a great deal of wisdom. It's the truth. Winning Speedy, thank you. Prawn D, it's the truth. You're right. Look. Who was it? Lord Acton with the power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts, absolutely. Lord Acton. First Baron Acton. Look, right now, Trump is the good guy. For people who are paying attention, for people who just hate him because they think he's, whatever euphemism, but they don't think Clinton is that same euphemism. Well, whatever. But yeah, I mean, right now, Trump is the good guy. Trump could be the same thing he fought against in the end of his second term. He could be another President Obama. He could turn out to be everything he is fighting against. The deep state could ingratiate themselves, or intelligence chiefs can say, "Hey, we hook you up. We hooked you up. Can you help us?" So, I mean, I agree with you, but I don't know. I just think that with the Clintons, both Clintons, it's something that, I mean, we haven't seen this power before. We haven't seen this level of, I mean, I don't know of a former president and his wife who have been this powerful. They're the most powerful couple in U.S. history by far. And they're also the most corrupt. And they've gotten away with more things than anyone on the planet. I mean, I agree with you. But Prawn D, thank you. I agree with you. But I mean, you know, I just think that we're in 2019, February of 2019, and it's never stopping. I mean, it's just never stopping. You know, it's just never going to stop because what she did was not, the government isn't even set up for what she did. She transferred top secret intelligence outside of the United States government. I don't think there are things, look, the Watergate break-in was nothing compared to what Clinton did. Absolutely nothing. And she fabricated a 2-year-long investigation. So, I mean, it wasn't just the damage to the country. It was like, I mean, there's so many other things. She controls the Democratic Party. I mean, so many things. I mean, Christopher Hitchens. Oh, it's very impressive, but I just don't think it's sustainable. Christopher Hitchens was obsessed with this. They said he was obsessed with this. And he was like, well, yeah, of course, because so many crimes committed and no accountability. But Prawn D, thank you. Thank you again, Prawn D. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see here, ladies and gentlemen. What's going? So we got William Barr coming in. I mean, that's pretty good. William Barr coming in. I mean, that's great. It's fantastic. William Barr's remarkable non-commitments about about the Mueller report. I mean, how great is that? They're like, do you promise? Do you pinky promise? Do you promise beyond belief? Do you swear? Do you do anything? Will you do everything possible to respect the Mueller? And he's like, Senator, we'll see. But if he's not indicted, we're not going to. It's the DOJ who decides, and I think Mueller is a really good guy. He's a fantastic, wonderful person. He's just a wonderful, great person. He's awesome. He's wonderful. I really like him a lot. Will you recuse yourself like Sessions? You promise to recuse yourself? You can take that recusal request and take it to a location where there's no sunshine. That's not what I really expected you to say. So, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, rejoice and be happy. William Barr is going to be the Attorney General. He already there's a Office of Professional Responsibility. Don't burst into laughter. That in the FBI that this is why. This is the exact reason that we had Andrew McCabe under criminal investigation. There's a grand jury He was the IG recommended indictment. So, I mean, William Barr, well, look, McCabe's going to get indicted. McCabe is going to get indicted. Andrew McCabe is going to get indicted. Andrew McCabe is going to get indicted. Just a matter of when. That is like the low-hanging fruit of all of this. So, it's pretty obvious. Even Michael Horowitz was like, yeah, indict, yeah, we recommend indictment. Like, everyone else was just as criminal, if not more, although he was up, after Comey, he was probably the most. Well, actually, Strzok was up there, if not more. Douglas McDonald! Barr is sketchy on surveillance power. That's true. And is rather tied to the JOD fraternity. That's true. What is he likely to cover up as opposed to expose? Possibly many things. I don't, Douglas, thank you so much. I don't think there's any altruism in this. So I'm not putting I'm not saying that Clinton is going to get indicted on people around her because of altruistic reasons, because people just want justice. No. They use the term existential. It's a cliche now, but it actually is an existential threat or issue to have top secret intelligence. There's nothing worse from the perspective of state power. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than having a powerful official funnel special access program intelligence, top secret data outside of the United States government. So, I mean, there's just nothing worse. I mean, there really isn't. I mean, I guess there could be, overt treason, of course, but the state, a government or state exists in part to perpetuate its influence, prestige, all of that. And of course, top secret intelligence and special access program intelligence. I'm not even talking about, I'm not talking about like if a whistleblower comes out and no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you entrust the Secretary of State, the nation's top diplomat, when she has a system that funnels every single classified document outside of the state, outside of the country, onto servers that even the multi-billion dollar surveillance state system can't find, allegedly. Of course, they have them all. I wrote about that in the Hill. That is an existential issue. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, thank God, is alive. Do not believe anyone that says she's not alive. She is alive. If she retires, and God bless her, I wish her long, happy life. Then you have Amy Coney Barrett. Yes. Amy Coney Barrett. Yeah, but I mean, pictures, you can have, pictures that wouldn't show anything. But you can't really have proof of anything. There's really no, you could say that about anyone. Yeah, heaven forbid, your friend or whatever, it's like, I haven't seen anybody on TV, but I haven't seen anybody on TV that you've seen today, but that doesn't mean that, you could also say, is that person in existence? Certain things look, here's something that's important. Please, this is important, everyone. The media doesn't spin certain facts. They have to work within a framework. So they're reporting like things that take place, people passing away, events taking place. They happen or they don't happen. They happen or they don't happen. The spin regarding them is a different thing. The spin is a different thing. That's what you need to worry about, not like, she hasn't written me a letter, so therefore, William Barr's remarkable non-commitments about the Mueller report. He basically said that they're not entitled to the final report. Senator Patrick Leahy, so you'd be in favor of releasing the investigative report when it's complete? As I've said before, I'm in favor of as much transparency as there can be within the rules of the law. I don't even know what that means. Senator Amy Klobuchar, will you commit to make public all the report conclusions? Barr, that's certainly my goal and intent. It's hard for me to conceive a conclusion that would run afoul of the regs as currently written, but that's certainly my intent. I love that. It's my intent. It's my intent. Yes, but see, the thing is, whether it's RBG or whether it's Trump or anybody, nobody. See, the thing is, when people don't have to assure anyone of anything, the reality is, when, God forbid, somebody passes who's in the limelight, it's not a secret. People can't. It's not like Weekend at Bernie's. Like, it's known. So that's the thing. And then it's like, will you commit to this? Will you commit to that? Will you commit to this? Will you commit to that? And Senator Macy Hirono. So what I'm hearing you say, that in spite of the fact that you want to be transparent, neither Congress nor the public will get the Mueller report because that's confidential. So what we will be getting is your report of the Mueller report, subject to applicable laws limiting disclosure. So is that what you're telling us? I don't know what, at the end of the day, what will be releasable. I don't know what Bob Mueller is writing. I haven't gone to Office Depot to see the different binders that he's trying to buy. Macy Hirono, so you said the Mueller report is confidential pursuant to whatever the regulations are that apply to him. So I'm just trying to get as to what you're going to be transparent about. This is actually pretty good. 2 years and they get a report of the report. You understand? It's not going to be Mueller's like handwriting. It'll be like William Barr. So basically, Mueller said this. Basically, Mueller said that. Thank you. Thank you for playing. Barr, as the rules stand now, people should be aware that the rules, I think, say that the special counsel will prepare a summary report on any prosecutive or declination decisions, and that shall be confidential and shall be treated as other declination or prosecutorial decisions matters. So if they decline to prosecute Trump, they're not going to really disclose anything about Trump. There's nothing to disclose. He didn't do anything. Hence the lack of prosecution. And this is not like a reasonable prosecutor. Like, if they had any shred of evidence, they would have taken him down. But you have testified you'd like to make as much of the original report. All I can say is right now is my goal and intent is to get as much information out as I can, consistent with the regulations. So don't you love, like, when the regulations are used against Democrats? Suddenly it's not so fun, is it? Suddenly it's not so fun. We do need the Gomer. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. So that's true. Rickmar 209, that's true. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Shamit Shah, thank you for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, Have a fantastic evening. If you're watching in another country, have a blessed, wonderful day. Thank you so very, very much. To my super chat, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be a fantastic year. This will be a year where the tables get turned. If you live by the media and the intelligence community, don't be surprised when the media and intelligence community, quote unquote community, turn on you. Don't be surprised. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. God bless. You definitely want to watch this channel tomorrow. Make sure to check the channel. Sometimes people don't get uploads. Make sure to also, I can't wait to introduce my latest article. It's going to be fantastic. Please share that. That'll be hopefully tomorrow or the next day. Thank you so very much, everyone. Thank you. Have a great